Welcome back to Marriage Hot Takes. Thank you for taking time to join us. I'm your host, Aaron Degler, along with my wife, Kim Degler. Each week, we just come to share a little bit about our last 22 years of marriage, some of the ups, the downs, and all arounds, some of the good things, bad things, some successes, some lessons we learned. And we always like to leave you at the end with a hot take, something that you can take away from our conversation each week and take into your relationship, into your marriage, to open up that communication, open up that discussion about the different things we talk about. Um, so, as we're kind of getting ready for this week's episode, kind of the question, one of the things, as we're discussing the topic, Kim mentioned a bullet point of what would our marriage look like if other people heard the way we spoke to each other?
What would their opinion of our
What
marriage
would their opinion be
if they heard the way we spoke to each other?
Yes. And so we're not talking about out in public.
We're talking about the way you speak to each other in your home.
In your home.
Not in front of everyone.
Because unfortunately, we know there is a difference in the words and the tones used at home versus out in public.
Yes.
Around people. So if there was a little...
Because I need you to mind your P's and Q's when we're out in public.
Yes. And I need you to know words.
Yes, and letters.
Yes. But then we know that doesn't always happen.
It doesn't.
So what would that sound like? And I challenge you to think about it right now. If someone's in your home,
yeah,
in the last week,
yeah, what would their opinion of your marriage be?
And I'll tell you, if probably the first 2 years for sure,
or more,
if any of you heard the way we spoke to each other in our first couple years of marriage, versus out in the public,
they would say, y'all are not going to make it.
No, they would have said, there's no way.
Like, no.
Why would,
y'all just need to call it good now, write it off.
How could you talk to each other like that?
Yeah.
And probably the first 10 years, they might even still think that.
Yes, probably so.
And 15 years, maybe not so much.
Yeah.
Better. Were you going to say something?
I was going to say, yeah, because Kim had a mouth on her.
Yes.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Yeah. And then within the last couple years, I mean, we're about to celebrate 22 years.
I would say with the last
year,
5 years.
5 years?
You said year?
Yeah. Whoops. I misread that one. Huh.
I meant our marriage had gotten really good, and you probably meant the way I speak to you.
Yes.
Not that I spoke ugly to you.
Right. So you were saying within the last 5 years, our marriage has gotten much better. Yeah.
Much better.
So
you were going to say the last year I spoke more life into you.
Yes. So
not that I was speaking ugly to you.
Yes.
Okay.
So I want people kind of understand that she's saying within the last 5 years, our marriage has gotten much better. So that means 17 years.
For 17 years
into our marriage,
it had lots of room for improvement.
Lots of room. And now we still have lots of room. We're not saying that we don't.
We are not perfect. Yeah.
But lots of room, 17 years. So we want to kind of share that, just because you make it, 5 years, it's going to be so much easier. 10 years,
I think once we hit 5 years, it'll be so much better. It'll be easier after 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be easier when we hit 10. It'll be an easier ride.
Yeah. And it's not. And
it's not been easy yet.
No. So it's gotten better, much better in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And then so is what I was referring to in the last year. Mm-hmm. Is kind of what our topic is today. Kind of what we want to discuss was about speaking life into the other person.
Yes.
And so when we say that, somebody goes, "Well, what do you mean they're alive? They're kicking." I mean,
Yeah.
what does speaking life into them mean?
Uh, for me, it means seeing the good in you before you even know it's there, N- giving you all the praises for all the things, even though maybe you have it's not all there yet, but I can see it. And so I'm going to continue to lift you up in those words that I share with you multiple times a day.
So as we're saying, I'm not necessarily exhibiting those things now.
Right. Um, and I think a lot of times that you can nitpick your spouse to death. I wish that she would lose 5 pounds. I wish that she would gain 10 pounds. I mean, whatever it be. I wish that they would work out. I wish that he would do. Um, but to me, I think that y- like to speak life into them, even if you think that they need to lose or gain 10 or 15 pounds, you're going to always just be like, you look so phenomenal. I mean, every day, you look so phenomenal. I think you're just, all of the things that they need to hear. That's what I think you should speak to them.
We had a one of our topics um, this past month or so was for in our marriage group was to magnify your marriage. In other words, we kind of talked about what you magnify, you glorify.
Hmm.
And now, when what you magnify doesn't mean it's always a positive thing.
Hmm.
If it's a negative thing, you're glorifying that negative thing. You're making it bigger because you're magnifying. It can be something small, but you're magnifying it. And when you magnify, when you're speaking life into someone, it is really exactly like you said. You're magnifying. You see what they're capable of, what they can do.
I see your
You
greatness.
see the greatness. And then you're speaking into that as if it had already happened,
Hmm.
even though it has not.
Hmm.
And
And
that
that's not for, what is the word I'm looking for? That's not to be like, when you want to change somebody, but see,
manipulative.
that's not being manipulative. That's speaking life into them so that they can feel what you already see.
And, and that doesn't mean, I think sometimes we think, okay, they're already kind of doing good and we kind of speak life into them. It can be that, you know, maybe you're having trouble in your relationship, in your marriage, and the other person is not um, maybe doing the right things or acting the right way, but you see what kind of person, what kind of husband, what kind of wife they are capable of being, and by speaking life into them, you're speaking life as if that's the person you have. And I think that's challenging
Hmm.
sometimes. It's not always, and again, it's not being manipulative, but you're because you love that other person so much, it's you get to see what the possible,
Hmm.
and you're speaking life into that possibility because by speaking life, that means you're giving life to something.
Hmm.
You're giving life to that future person that you can see that, like you said, they might not be able to see that yet.
Hmm. But you can see what they're going to walk into.
Hmm.
You see the possibility.
And so then how do you speak that life into that when that's not the case, when that person is not acting in that manner or doing those things?
Mm. Well, I think that I don't know, because for me, I can speak those things into you because I see that that's what you're becoming. So it's not that I think you need to go do all of these things or that you need to change. So
So how do we do that? That's you're speaking life into them, but again, I think that goes back to what you said about not being manipulative.
mhm.
You're speaking life into them to achieve their
Their goal.
greatness,
Yeah,
their goal,
the things that they are wanting.
not the things that you want them to change to.
Right. Yeah. The things I speak over you and the things that I speak to you are for things that you are wanting and that I know, I mean, which goes back to open communication. You have to communicate to know what your spouse wants or
Hmm.
needs, or so those are things that you already need to know
Hmm.
to be able to speak life into them. Awkward silence.
Awkward silence. Because I was just kind of thought, because really, when you're speaking life, when you think of new life, and a baby comes to this world, that is a new beginning. It is when you take care of them. You are raising your um, influencing that person's life by the way you act, the way
Hmm.
you speak,
Hmm.
the mannerisms you use.
Hmm.
You're influencing that faith, that
Hmm.
speaking into the life. And the same thing is true for our spouse. It goes from um, our actions, what are we doing, into what are we speaking,
Hmm.
what are our mannerisms, um, and maybe that mannerisms are you're just there.
Hmm.
You're just listening.
Hmm.
Maybe it is. It's just a hug.
Hmm.
But I think that's a big challenge. Is if somebody was in your house right now and they just had that one day snapshot, what would they think of your marriage,
Hmm.
of the way you're speaking to each other?
Right. How do you think that that would look in our house? What's your opinion of that?
In our current household,
Yes. Yes. Not in the previous ones that we discussed.
um, so I think currently for us, um, and again, before I kind of share this, it so both to be able to speak life into somebody else, I think it initially requires us to be working on ourselves,
Hmm.
because again, relationships are very important, and the other person is very important, and how we communicate, how we react to each other. But it is so important that we are self-aware, that we take inventory of our own selves, and what are some of our strengths, what are some of our weaknesses, do I need to work on, how do I need to develop, what kind, and these are all things that we didn't fully understand
Right.
until I didn't understand probably till about 7 or 8 years ago.
Hmm.
Us together as a couple, maybe you didn't fully understand until the last couple of years.
Hmm.
Um, So I think now many would be surprised because ours is reversed.
Hmm.
I think what we speak in private, we is much more pouring into each other. It's much more praying over each other.
Hmm.
It's speaking even more life into each
Hmm.
other than we do out in public.
Right.
Um,
'Cause out in public, people would
like
think,
that is a lot.
do they speak to each other?
Yes.
Are
Um,
they married?
are they married? Um, but it's not because we're ignoring each other. But it's we just in private we do try to be much more encouraging. We be much more about open communication.
Hmm.
The things we like, don't like, the things we need to work on, the things we are working on.
Hmm.
Um, we have more shared visions, shared dreams,
Hmm.
shared understandings.
Hmm.
So, I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think that if someone were to be recording us throughout the day and hear well, it wouldn't be throughout the day, it would be in the evening when you're at home, but just
Or in the weekend?
or in the weekend when you're here, to hear a daily conversation, that is what they would hear, hear, hear
Here, here, here.
is just the open communication of lifting each other up when the other one is, I need this or that, and in the true light of just speaking life into you. I know that you could do that, and I think that that's a great idea, and the constant encouragement of you know just reinforcing that I know that you've got that. I know that that's who you're becoming. And I do think that that would be a very much of a surprise for many people because that are around us in the daily, because they're going to see us. Most people are going to see us at the gym, basically.
And it's maybe 30 minutes, an hour.
Yeah, and I'm lumped in with the rest of the peeps, so it's
no special treatment.
No, there's no special treatment at the gym for the wife. So I do think that they would be very surprised in what they hear. Also, to me, I speak life to you every morning. That's the first thing I want you to see. And this is not verbally, because I'm not getting up at that time that you do. But I do send you a text that's the first thing you have in the morning. And it's always some sort of encouragement of what I feel like you might need that day. If it's towards the end of the week, it's, I know that you can go and say all these words today and you're almost got or if it's something that you're working on, just encouragement for that.
And again,
or a prayer. Many times right before a class.
Yes. I speak or something like that. It's a prayer. And so I don't want people to get the wrong idea or think, oh, that's, great, that it's how nice that must be. It wasn't like that up until just within a couple of years, really probably more a year.
Yeah.
And that's come from personal growth individually.
Yeah.
And we put a lot of work into our individual growth. And because of our individual growth, we're then better able to speak life into the other person. Maybe a year ago, occasionally we'd send each other, hey, I listened to this great podcast. Hey, you should listen to that. Now it's very regular that we're doing it. And so then again, we send that, we both listen, we have a discussion about it, we talk about what do we like, what do we agree. A lot of times from our conversations here, we're either get into bigger conversations beforehand as we discuss some topics, or sometimes after we get done, we have some bigger conversations about some things we touched on that maybe we didn't realize, maybe we didn't understand or didn't think about. And so again, it's just different. But again, I think sometimes we're quick to say, well, it's the other person.
Yeah.
But I think we have to be responsible, because in our early years of marriage, we worked on trying to stay alive.
Literally kids, just trying to stay alive.
House, sports, just everything. It was really tough.
We were just surviving.
Yeah.
And it's just gotten better as we've aged and we've matured and we've grown, that everything has just gotten better.
And that's been intentional.
Intentionally.
It didn't happen by accident.
Yeah.
So I think one of our challenges is that if you're in one of those seasons like we were early in our marriage, midway through our marriage,
later in
our marriage, there's hope.
There is hope. I do think so much of that, though, goes back to communication. Because if the communication isn't there, again, you don't know what to be speaking to them anyway. I mean, in all honesty, you're probably not speaking anything to them.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you said, in the last year, we have been very open about our communication, about everything, and are able to say more about, I don't really like it when you do that. Or I do like it when you do that, because in the past, if I had said, I didn't really like the way you would do that, how would that have gone with you?
Oh, it'd gone all over me. It would turn into a big, more than a discussion, a heated argument, or not talking for a day or two.
Yeah. Whereas now I can say, I didn't really like the way you did that. And you would say what?
I said, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. Because I understand that we're both trying to grow,
Uh-huh.
and so we both, I think, encourage that. Like, oh well, I want to know if you don't like something
Yes.
because I want to. I'm really working on making you happy or making it better.
Uh-huh.
So if you don't like something, please tell me.
Yeah.
Because I think now we're at the point where we invite that each
Uh-huh.
other to say, hey,
I don't like that.
yeah,
Yeah. That might have been the way we've always done it, but I just did it because I thought I had to, but I don't really like doing it that way.
hmm
And I do think that a lot of times, I don't know what made me think of this, but when I said I don't know that I like it that way. I always think of, I think it was a movie or something, and where the girl in the movie she was a mom and kids had grown, whatever, and they asked her how she liked her eggs, and she had to give the I don't I don't know how I like my eggs, and it really was a nod to moms of they put everybody else first, and they could probably list off how everybody in the family likes the eggs, but them, um, because uh, they end up kind of being like what is that animal? Chameleon
chameleon. hmm
that just blends in and does whatever they want. So maybe everybody likes scrambled eggs. So I guess I like scrambled eggs. And then come to find out, maybe you like fried runny eggs,
hmm
but you just didn't know. And so I think so many times in your marriage, maybe you really don't know what you like. And so, like with you, there are times when I might say, I don't, I don't like that. And we really didn't know. Maybe you didn't know that's something that you didn't care for. Or we did, I don't really like it when we talk to each other that way. Or I didn't really like it when you said this in front of other people. And I think that, too, with that, you and I are always aware of how you're speaking about your spouse in front of others as well.
hmm
Um, I did I tell you all the time that I don't normally say anything negative about you, but I did today, and I caught myself doing it.
hmm
And then I was like, oh, talking negative about my husband.
So, so
Uh,
I did catch that this
did you
morning.
hear that?
Yeah, I did catch that, and because I think I did say that's not true.
Oh, wait, when was it?
It was during booty class, I think.
Oh, no, it wasn't that time. I did it twice then.
Oh, was
Is
I
it?
around?
No, no, it was during yoga, and we were talking about decluttering,
Uh
and
huh.
I said I love to keep everything decluttered. I love to keep everything, and I said, now my husband, on the other hand, he would walk in his office right now, and and as I was saying it, I was like, oh, well, now that's not really my story to share.
But now, in your defense, I did just tell that yesterday that my desk is a mess and I'd be embarrassed. So
And I
I
did
did.
say,
Yes.
I do think I did even say, I think he said that on one of the things.
Yes. So I
So,
wouldn't take
yeah.
that as.
Well,
I don't remember what it
I
was.
don't either, but I do remember
You
you say,
remember
now
that?
that's not really.
Yeah. But now that's kind of different because it was kind of a joke and I
It
was
was
there.
kind of a
But
joke,
yeah.
but I do think
But
that that's important
yeah.
because that then becomes their opinion of who you are.
hmm
And if you say that enough times in front of people, then that's who they would think that you are.
hmm But by speaking life into somebody, even when they're not around and you're sharing with others about your spouse, you're still speaking life into them of the way you're talking about
Yeah.
them. Because you're exactly right. So, what if you have a friend and you've never met their spouse?
Yes.
You've never met them.
So you only know what they're telling you
Yes, and then you meet him and you go, "Oh, that she's a or he's a ooh."
because you already had a preconceived notion.
hmm
Is that the
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and so you can still. It's not just speaking to them that you speak life into them.
yeah,
It's also when you speak of them
speak of them.
to others.
Hmm.
Are you speaking life into them?
Hmm.
And that's the way you build them up. I mean, um, share with others. It's not. You go to a girlfriend and go, "You won't believe my husband. I
Hmm.
swear."
Hmm.
And that's not speaking life into him because that could be hurting him when he meets those. Maybe he doesn't, or
Hmm.
they, like you said, they do have a different opinion of him. So that what happens sometimes when we have a different opinion of people, we start treating them differently.
Mhm.
And so you're not speaking life into me or her because of that.
Mhm. Mhm. So I think you just have to be very mindful of your words.
Hmm.
But I think even more so to each other and be mindful about speaking those words. I feel like if I tell you enough times what I see in you, then you will rise to that.
Hmm.
Again, not to be manipulative of that's how I want you to be. It's that I can see where you want to be. And if I continue to praise those words or continue to speak them over you or I continue to pray those over you, then I have no doubt that that is where you will be
Hmm.
and that's who you will become.
And I mean, and it's the same thing for um, being degrading to a spouse or saying, you're so lazy around here, or can you not get a job, or you can't fix anything, or can you not put on some clean clothes? And you
Mhm.
say that over and over again, they begin to have that identity of those things you're speaking of them.
Mhm.
And the same thing is true. You're saying if it's a higher level of what you can speak to them, they will rise to that
Mhm.
because that is what you're constantly hearing. I am successful. I am um, a godly man. I
Mhm.
do want to serve. I do care about my family. I am, all those things. You start to walk into that identity.
Mhm.
Either way,
Mhm.
you start to walk into that identity,
Mhm.
and I think that's, um, and again, I want to stress and emphasize that you have to put a lot of work into yourself.
Right.
What makes a good marriage is two people that have put a lot of work into themselves.
Mhm.
They take time for themselves because if you improve, your relationship will improve.
Mhm.
And I think so many times we just think the other person needs to
It's
be
always
better.
the other person.
Yes,
Yeah. And in those 15 years, it was always the other person that needed to
always,
improve
always.
until you finally led.
But again, there was a number of years that I was growing
Mhm.
that you necessarily weren't growing,
No.
and it wasn't like I said, "Hey, you need to start.
Mhm.
You need to get on board with this."
Mhm.
It was I tried to be as a husband. I tried to be an example.
Mhm. A
Now,
leader.
a leader. Again, it doesn't mean that we're getting it right. We're still having disagreements and all that. Still having challenges.
Mhm. And
Um,
it doesn't mean that you were always right.
no, not
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
No, well, I was always right at all
Right.
because we know who the perfect one is in the relationship.
We do.
That would be you.
That's right.
Because our joke is every time we have a question about maybe conflicts on that at our marriage group, it's always Kim. Everybody looks around.
Well,
I look at her. And she goes,
I
"Well,
do
I
that.
mean, I'm perfect."
I mean, like as we do so many of these things, I always think like, yeah, I do that. Yeah. Well, I do that. Yep, that's me. But can you contest that? Any of that?
Well, sometimes there are marriage groups I can go, I don't. Well, really, your truth and my truth are two different things.
That's interesting.
That might be a conversation when we get done.
Maybe because
Um,
I'm like, I cannot think of a single time that I wasn't just being like, yeah, I do that. Yeah.
well, I mean, just like when I was growing and you weren't.
Uh huh. Yes.
I mean, you can't say I was doing that. That you were doing
Oh
that.
yeah, no.
You know.
Right.
Um,
I'm
so
saying since
I'm
we've started marriage group, when
right.
we discuss certain things, I'm normally like, yeah, I know.
But
I'm
would
already
you
doing that.
agree you're a completely different person than you were 5 years ago when we started marriage group?
Yeah.
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 So and you would have said
I
5 years.
said at the beginning of this, my Kim's words back then were not
Not
Kim's words now.
they're not.
But nowhere close.
Kim's words now will pray over you. Kim's words then would beat you with her words.
Yes. Hang on just a minute. I got some words for you.
Yeah.
Let me
Um,
pull them all out.
so the words she uses are much
Hmm.
better now and nicer,
Hmm.
and more
Didn't want to be on the other end of that.
more speaking life into you instead of beating the life out of you.
Yeah.
So
That's correct. That is correct.
so there's a big difference.
Hmm.
And I contribute that a lot to this being your fourth year of reading the Bible,
Hmm.
all the way through.
Hmm.
I think that is very powerful, very, very powerful.
I do too.
So I'm looking forward. I'm not even close to your 4 years. I'm just on my second year, skipped a year, but anyhow. So looking forward to that. But what is today's hot take?
Uh, let's see. I got to find where that is in my phone. Okay.
Oh, I caught you off guard.
You did.
And today's what?
Hot take is the words we speak can either create a diminished life or a full life.
So the words we speak will create some sort of life,
Yes.
without a doubt. But do we want it to be a diminished small life or a life that is full of prosperity, of greatness, of vision, of confidence,
Hmm.
all of those things? What kind of life do we want to speak into? And so we have to be intentional on our daily choices of words because, again, we can't take those words back. And once they're said, they will either go straight to the diminished life or the full life.
Good job.
And
You're so amazing.
we're still on the camera.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
So,
Thought we were
so,
done.
so that would be an example of and that was not her trying to be funny. That was just sometimes her truth comes out. That's the way she speaks to me. So if you were to be a fly on the wall, you would have just witnessed what happens sometimes when nothing is rolling or home alone. But that is just the simplicity of speaking life into your spouse. It doesn't take rocket science. It's just simply sometimes you're amazing. I'm proud of you. You can do this. You're a great dad. You're a great husband. You're a great father. You're a great son, daughter, mom. All those things. It's simply speaking life. It doesn't take much. So our challenge is to you is to speak life into others, into your spouse, for them and you as a couple to have a full life. So thank you for joining us on today's Marriage Hot Takes. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Kim.
I want to see you here, right? We'll see you here next time on Marriage Hot Takes.